A Terminator scene, a very short one, when Terminator is buying guns from the store. I don't know if it is exaggerated because he's entering there and trying to buy all these guns like shotguns or like even Uzi rifles or pistols with laser aiming. Um, almost like he would enter a market shop. But nevertheless, the scene is very well directed, showing us that for example, Terminating is asking the clerk to plasma rifle with 40 watts range, and he told him that only what he sees here. So the scene is short one. At the end, the Terminator is reloading or putting ammo to the rifles. The clerk forbids that, and he is killed. He is being killed. But the scene, as short one as it was, is a very good example of showing the climate, and the climate of terror, of thrilling, of this machine who is in a way infiltration unit. So he knows a little bit about human behavior. For example, he knows that there are shops, and in these shops you can buy weapons, and he's buying a lot of them, and the clerk is really fascinated that he will be having a good day of selling such potential weapons. And the Terminator is in a way fascinated with human weapons, with their potential. And of course, I'm not sure if it is a little bit against selling weapons in United States, because in United States you can buy weapon, but not only ordinary weapon like a pistol, but you can also buy even shotguns or assault rifles. And the Americans, many of them are proud of that, and because of that, the killings in the United States are quite high, as for such a well developed and big country. But the scene is also um, showing us that Terminator 1 and then Terminator 2, these movies were perfect in this sense that every scene and even every character was chosen very good to play its or his role in this case. Because, for example, this clerk is only seeing in this movie and in this scene for about 1 minute, 2 minutes, but the guy, very chill, a little bit older guy, and he's telling this Terminator that of course all these guns are very well for home protection. If you want your home to be protected from assailants or some robbers or some burglars, you can always buy a heavy gun or a shotgun or lots of pistols. So it is a little bit against this culture of marveling weapons and of being proud that these weapons you can just buy as a normal citizen, and there are even normal shops available to anyone. I think in modern day USA, buying gun like that is a little bit complicated. It's much, I would say that in some states much more complicated, so it's not as obvious and as benign or as free as you could imagine or as you could see in this movie. But still, it shows that the Terminator is also intelligent machine. He knows what he needs. He knows that people are selling these things, and and it is showing us that uh, because the main difference, because first Terminator and second Terminator, is that first Terminator is more like a thriller, or a thriller and a horror movie, and the second one is more like adventure, sensational, criminal movie. And here the action is not as important as climate, and as building this tension of Sarah Connor being killed or Sarah Connor being followed. So the tension is much more important than the action. Nevertheless, there are some action scenes there who are really very well directed, and I will be focusing on attack on police station by the Terminator in the next movie about first Terminator. But this scene is earlier. It's at the beginning of the day, because the whole movie is the whole plot is in 2 days, but this first day is the most important, because the Terminator is looking for this concrete Sarah Connor, the mother of John Connor, and there are a couple of Sarah Connors in Los Angeles, and he's only using the phone book to find them and kill them. And we see even later that the first Sarah Connor is being found by the Terminator and is being brutally killed. And also the very interesting thing is that in first Terminator, which was directed in 1984, the Arnold Schwarzenegger playing as Terminator is decisively much younger than later, of course, because second Terminator was directed in 1991, so 7 years period of waiting for another Terminator. And we see this, that in first Terminator he was about 35, something like that, years. um, and we see the difference, that in first Terminator he's almost still like a young, not very young, but still young man. But in second Terminator he's a little bit like a middle-aged man. And the scene, even though short one, was for me as important as these longer scenes. So that's why I decided still to focus on it, and briefly talked about this still good scene in first Terminator, showing us that that the preparations uh, needed to be shown and made, because in second Terminator the preparations, for example, how Arnold Schwarzenegger bought shotgun in second Terminator, is not shown. And here this tension of buying weapons, of finding phone booth, of calling to the victims, is as important as action. And in second Terminator the action is far more important than building this tension. And this is, I think, interesting but also important difference. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this specific scene of buying weapons by the Terminator.